All right. Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday, hump day. Today is May 31st, last day of May. Almost going into June. Hopefully y'all had a good month. Markets are off to a slightly red start, actually a pretty decent red start, with SPY currently down by 0.5%, nearly. The NASDAQ down the worst at the moment, 0.55%. The Russell RTY is currently down by 0.4%, and the Dow is currently down by 0.3%. So Dow is actually doing the best out of these few ETFs, which shouldn't come as much of a surprise considering that the Dow has just been trending down pretty much nonstop for the past month. So, getting a little bit of relief, I guess, if you can call it that, would be expected. So if we're looking at the SPY, it's at 418.21, right at the Fibonacci level. Qs is currently at 348.20, well off of yesterday's close at 350 basically. IYM still kind of trading in the range. Probably going to expect us to stay above like 173, 172 today. Wouldn't really expect it to drop much more just because that's the range that it continues to kind of stay within. Not really deviating much. If it does, it's only for a couple of days. And then the Dow, again, this one's just on a steady decline for the past month from 340 down to 330 at the moment. So all the rally that we've really seen has been in the Qs, big tech names. You're talking about Microsoft. You're talking about especially NVIDIA. NVIDIA's actually pulling back this morning down to 394 from yesterday's close at 401. Tesla is still trading around 200, so not really giving up much here. Amazon's at 121.25, down from yesterday's close at 121.66. So we're not really seeing a major sell-off in any of these mega caps. Google seems to be down the worst at 123.60 versus yesterday's close at 124.64. And then Apple steadily trading at the 177 mark, down 10 cents from yesterday's close. So not really moving too much, but enough to get the Qs in the red this morning. Good morning, Irfan. I'm going to close out of some of these tabs. Maybe that's slowing me down on the stream. We'll keep up the economic calendar because we do have some data coming out at 10 a.m. with the JOLTS job opening. So expect some volatility around that at 10 o'clock. But let's start off with SPY. Right at 418.30, barely above the 418.21 fib. Trend this morning, obviously bearish. RSI is at 40. And haven't seen any improvement since about 7 a.m. above 50 RSI. So my guess, we're probably just going to be trending below 50 RSI for this morning, would be my guess. We're opening right below 418.21. Looks like the Dixie just popped up 104.40. Gold surprisingly hasn't pulled back from that. I would have expected gold to come down, but it's still up by 0.2% with GLD at 182.40. So I was wanting to buy into a gold position, but doesn't look like that's going to happen today. All right. Majority of the big tech names are in the red. NVIDIA down the worst at 1%. Meta down 0.75. Google down 0.8. Apple still up by 0.3. Tesla is up by 0.3. and Microsoft up by 0.15. Microsoft's just been kind of chilling. Yesterday it was in the price range of 330.5 to 333 and didn't really break out of that. So could have some supports just below us at 330.5. All right, looks like we got support on the 418.21 fib first thing off the bat. So either choppy this morning or we might be headed bullish. Welcome to today's episode on what the hell is Nvidia gonna do every day. AA, Advanced Auto, plummets on earnings miss, cutting the dividend. Let's see. Is there ticker AA, Advanced Auto? No. Advanced Auto. I don't know what the heck the ticker is. AAP maybe? Advanced Auto Parts? Yeah. Yeah, this is down 28% this morning. Down to $80 from $112. Maybe if they had more mechanics to work on the vehicles, then they wouldn't have as many. Then they would have higher revenue, but every time that I go to a mechanic, it takes way too freaking long to get my car fixed. All right, we're at 1471, just above 50 on the RSI, surprisingly. So that would be a bullish start to the market if it does end up holding above 50 RSI. Let's see, Qs is at 349 basically. Wouldn't be too shocked if it hit 350 again if we do get this morning rally. And it's well above 50 RSI, it's at 60 almost. So if we do have a pivot here, 350 could be incoming pretty soon. But I'm watching out for that 418.21 level for SPY. Seeing if I can get in on some puts possibly. Probably going to take this down to 417 and some change, I'm thinking. I'm going to pull up the 418 put, see what that's trading at. Right now it's at about $1 a piece. $1.05. Copy and paste this. And looks like we found support again at 418.21. So definitely a level to watch out for today. The lowest that these went this morning on that pop higher was 74 cents. Now they're trading for $1. QQQ is still kind of hanging around though at 349, so it makes me hesitant to open this if big tech is still kind of carrying the rest of the market. Makes me more neutral. Let's see, the Dow is actually down 0.5% more than QQQ now. Typical. Dow is just continuing to underperform the Qs every single day. It seems like the S&P 5 too real. All right, looks like we finally cracked that 418.21 level. $531 expiration, stop loss. I'm gonna say Thinking about 90 as my stop loss. Right now they're going for 105, so you are overpaying on them a little bit compared to what I want them at $1 a piece. So I'll give it some time, see if we can get it a little bit cheaper. Either that or we can just buy less of them, take lower risk based on how much we're putting in. Definitely a bearish start though. We tried to go higher off of that 418.21 level and now we've lost it. Alright, they're getting these contracts down to 102. Very, very close to what I'd like. Maybe I'm being too greedy at $1. Oh, there they go. And SPY's back above 418.21. All right. That's weird. Oh, god dang it. All right, they're down to 90 cents already, so reversing on that candle. Back higher. Could open them here at 90 now and then set my stop loss 10 cents lower. Which would be a nice trade. All right, I got hopefully 10 of them at 93. New stop loss 83. So far, it's looking like a bounce off of that 418.21 level with these, the close on this candle and the open of this candle. It's coming back to 50 RSI, so it's not bullish yet. It's still at 47. And you're seeing the Qs leading the way again, as per usual these days. All right, they're getting SPY up to 418.50 now. Contracts are going for 84, 83, so there is my stop loss. Stopped out at 83. 100 loss since I opened 10. Now we're just above 50 RSI. Could try to re-enter the trade based on relative strength. Kind of curling down right now. But with QQQ going higher at 349.50, not a trade I'm exactly comfortable with. And this one's getting overbought for RSI at 70 right now, so not looking pretty for a short trade. The Dow is still down 0.5%. So if you are going to short, I would say either Dow would be your best bet or IWM possibly. But IWM is just kind of ranging not really breaking in any direction for the past month, whereas the Dow is just kind of sliding further and further each day, it seems. All right, let's see. We could end up retesting 350 for Qs and then pulling back, but my guess, we're seeing some improvement, especially for Microsoft up 1%, Tesla's up half, and Apple's up half. So the $2 trillion companies are up 1% and 0.5%. So it's a lot of market cap being added into those two names that I would not want to go against. All the other names basically though are red marginally, besides Nvidia's down the worst at 0.6%. Dollar index is dropping right now. Got about 18 minutes until the JOLTS job openings report. That could shake us up. Yeah, so it looks like we basically retested the pre-market lows and then ended up going up from there for SPY. For Q, well, there we go. Didn't end up testing that pre-market low. It was just a straight shot higher. All right, looks like the VIX is coming on down from 18. Pretty typical to see that. As soon as it goes above 18 lately, it's just been kind of selling off. Except for this little couple of days. For the most part, we've just been staying under 18. Could bet on a reversal for Qs with the JOLTS job openings report coming out at 10 a.m. Probably wouldn't put a ton on it. We are having more confidence on the debt ceiling bill getting passed through Congress. So that would lead us to a bullish sentiment. But price action, slightly bullish, but coming off of a very bearish pre-market. What's up, Carrie? How's it going this morning? All right, IWM is trading at 175. You got that 175.21 resistance. Went slightly above it first thing on open, but couldn't stay above it for long. looks like a pretty clean rejection for the past 15 minutes too. So I think today's going to be a pretty typical day. We're probably going to see small caps, Dow continuing to sell off. We're going to see Qs maybe going up, especially with all the big cap names in the green today. The only red one would be Google as of right now, 0.4%. So probably just going to have the same old price action. I wouldn't want to be a put buyer for DIA though, just because the bid-ask spreads on those can be very bad. IWM is a little bit better. They're still like 3 cents wide versus usually 1 or 2 cents for SPY or Qs. But this one definitely has a trend to the downside. Probably wouldn't want to go past like 173, 172 though. They already jacked up the prices on those. Alright, well, SPY's pulling back now. You would need Qs to come back down, though, to get SPY below that 418.21 mark. We're going to retest it here again. Of course, IWM falls as soon as I want to try to enter a trade. And SPY is just right at that 418.21 support. All thanks to the S&P 5. Keeping it up. Microsoft's up 1%. Apple's up 0.6. Tesla's up 0.4. And the other mega caps are just barely in the red. All right. Dow is down 0.6% today. This market is just deja vu. Every single day you have Dow down, Q's either flat or up. Q's just never wants to give up. Ooh, gold is getting a bid this morning. Even with the dollar up, that's interesting. Wouldn't really expect that for gold. All right. Looks like we might be recovering a little bit for IWM. That same put that I was looking at earlier, going for 103 again. I think it went up to 120 at the highest whenever we sank this candle. Still below 50 RSI, so still very bearish. And everything else is kind of slipping here. Q's just below 350. SPY just below 418.50. Alright, retesting the 418.21 level once again for SPY. Test, test, and retest. Got about 7 minutes until the JOLTS job openings report, so expect a lot of volatility in the next 10 minutes. Q's maybe finally pulling back just above 350. It would be nice if Q's had one red day, but it's very hard to doubt on the Q's. We did have a red day actually yesterday. Actually, no, we didn't. We had another green day. Let's see. Yeah, we ended higher. It's been higher for the past. This would be 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. Today would be a fourth if we do manage positive. I'm gonna look into the 350 puts, see what the prices are, see if we're getting cheap or expensive on the 350. Relatively cheap. 130 the lowest. And then the highest that these went this morning was 236. So if we do get a drop on the JOLTS job openings, could have a decent run on these. Yeah, job market's waiting on the JOLTS report right at that 418.21 level for SPY. Basically right at where we opened. Q's is higher, pretty significantly higher than open, at 348 to 350 right now. And I'm looking into these 350 puts for Q's. Probably won't spend a ton on it just because I'm looking to buy 350 QQQ puts expiring 531 with stop loss at 130, I'm thinking. Yeah. They're going for 150 right now. And I'm looking to open those in the next 4 minutes before the JOLTS. Planning on any earnings after markets for today? Not any stocks that I follow. I'm really looking forward to Lulu's earnings, which is tomorrow after hours. That's my earnings trade of the week, and probably one that's not going to do too well just because retail has been pretty trash as of lately. If you look at Target earnings, Walmart earnings, any retail store has been doing horrible. Ulta had a really bad earnings report. They dropped like 13%, so probably the same story for Lulu, I'm guessing. All right. God dang it. I keep selecting selling options instead of buying somehow. Not sure how that happens. But we should get in on these at 147. Bought 5 at 147. And they just dropped them to 140 right now. All right. JOLTS job openings in 2 minutes. Let's go. SPY's just below 418.21. Q's at 349.50. So let's see how this shakes out. As Q puts are already up to 160 a pop. After I got him at 147. Again, my stop loss is 130. We got about a minute to the report. $15 seconds. Starting at a profit. So we'll see if we sink here. Microsoft is still up 1%. Apple's almost up 1%. And there it is. We got the drop. 20 cents so far. Oh, they sent them to 162, 166. Oh man, they are really kind of screwing up the bid ask on them. Okay, I think I'm going to get out close to 165, I'm hoping. They're at 158, 159. I don't know if I'll be able to get 160 for them now. So initial move down. SPY finally below 418.21, down to 417.70. It's a pretty decent move to the downside in the initial reaction. All right, they just got to 165. Nope, too slow on that. All right, I'm gonna try to sell them at 162. Actually, looks like we're headed a little bit lower. Okay. Headed right back higher. Not for SPY though. Again, Dow continuing to lead the negative. Q's still getting some supports. Looks like our low was 349.28 for Q's on that 5-minute candle. Very choppy though. And let's see, the report came in very hot. 10 million job openings versus 9.775 million expected, up from 9.745 million as of last month. So lots of job openings, continued inflation, higher rates. Probably going to see the dollar going back up, which means gold is probably going to pull back now. Let's see. Yeah, gold is pulling back pretty significantly after the Dixie went above 104.50 again. They're just kind of chopping it right now. These contracts keep going for about 160 at the top. A lot of volume coming in on this candle too. So once we get moving in one direction, I think it should add up. But right now we're just kind of ping-ponging. All right, they're sending these contracts back to 160. Could be my chance to exit. $160 a piece. And that's exactly where they get rejected every time. Hard to get anything for these contracts until you flush those lows. refuse to take part in the chop. I don't blame you. Oh, now they finally sent him to 170. Thank God. Yep, I'm out at 169, I think. If it fills, yep. Sold at 169. So 169, 147, 22, 5, 110 profit. Not really seeing any pullback for Apple or Microsoft here though. Most of it's coming out of Nvidia, down 1.3% at the moment. Yeah, QQQ really shaping to the downside too. 50 on the RSI, so it's about to go bearish. But you're still seeing a lot of money pouring into Apple and Microsoft. So I wouldn't bet on a breakdown until those two names break. When is the House voting today? It's supposed to be by the end of the day, but I have no idea what the timing would be on it. I would say with SPY below 418.21 now, this is pretty definitively bearish. You could have a turnaround based on the House passing the debt limit, but I feel like that's already been kind of priced in. I mean, we're pretty positive. I would say there's like a 90%, probably higher, like 99% chance of it passing. So I don't know. It's kind of hard to say that it's not already priced in if it does pass. But yeah, JOLTS job openings definitely set the tone. Interest rates probably going up with that. The 10-year just bounced from 3.65 to 3.68. A little marginal move, not really back to where we were yesterday. I would probably want to see us above 3.7 for that move to really have any impact. But the dollar really popped on that. They had the dollar sinking this morning, and they finally got it back above 104.50 immediately after the report. All right, Microsoft and Apple are losing some ground, not really much. And Nvidia's down to 394 again. This is where it was in the pre-market. Right at the pre-market lows. So if Nvidia starts to sell off below 394, 393, could have a decent decline. Let's see what stocks are doing. Stocks. I know A&D is down like 3% today. So I'd imagine stocks and stocks S SOX S would be doing well, up 5%. SOX itself down 1.7% this morning. The VIX still hanging around that 18 level. Seems like an easy short at 18. Usually, every time that it hits 18, it just ends up going back down. So, might look into a short position for the VIX. Maybe some SVIXy. But yeah, Q's actually broke down after that report. We had it in a range and then it fell right on through. I saw those puts at 170. Now they're going for 2. So could have held them a little bit longer. Definitely starting to look bearish. Just below 50 RSI now. I would imagine there would be some support at the pre-market lows at 348. But we'll see. We'll see there. IWM is getting hammered down to 173. Yeah, that put for IWM would have been beautiful. But every time I try to open a position on IWM, I'm just a second too late. The Dow seems to be holding its ground after the report. Let's see, at 10 a.m. it dropped down to 328.25, and it's been hovering just above that. It's still a 30 RSI, so I wouldn't call it a strong support given the relative strength is so weak. Nvidia is actually down 2% today. Wow. That's huge after a 25% rally. Really a drop in the bucket. What's that, like $2 billion in market cap versus the $200 billion that they added? SPY's down to 417.25. You might have some supports roughly around here. And then your next support's down at 416 if it does end up crossing. even the hourly chart's looking bearish for SPY at 30 in the RSI. Last time we hit 30 RSI, we had a pretty brutal sell-off from that 418 level. That's where we started, to 410, putting us in that continuous range between 410 and 420. We're down 0.7% so far for SPY. We're testing the pre-market lows for Qs down at 348. We'll see if we crack them or not. Looking bearish on the hourly chart, getting rejected at 50 a couple times here in the pre-market and the open market. So maybe taking a 1 or 2 day expiration QQQ put could play out pretty well based on the hourly time frame. But you would need to crack those pre-market lows at 348. Let's see, we'll go with Friday's expiration. Hesitant to do at the money, just because I can turn around on you very quickly. But those are going for 266, up from about $2 this morning to 270. Let's see, I don't have any close by support levels for the Qs besides 337. Doubtful that we would get there. 345 maybe would be possible, which will put these contracts at about $3 a piece. In intrinsic value, at least. Extrinsic value depends on how much time is left before it hits 345. Alright, June 2nd expiration, 348. It is slightly in the money now. But I wouldn't be too shocked if we had a reversal, just given the reluctancy of the mega caps to sell off any. All right, they're going for 280 right now. I'd probably set the stop loss to like, thinking 250. Which would put Qs back to 348.20. Not really too far off. So I'm hesitant to take that trade right now. SPY did go below 417.25. So your next support at 416. Unless it retests 417.25 again. it's hard to call for further sell-off in IWM. It's down 1.2% and at the bottom of the range for the past month. So I honestly kind of expect a bounce close to 172. Momentum is definitely not in your favor for the trade. But every time that it gets around these price levels at 172, in the past month it's bounced. We've only spent one day out of the past 20 trading days below 172, it seems like. Looks like such a clean rejection. And move lower for QQQ on the hourly time frame. The hard part is finding out where to get out. Especially given that Friday rally, there was really no stopping. The only pause that we had was for 5 minutes at 343. SPY is very bearish on the RSI for the hourly chart too. Down to 28. Not sure if Qs would follow that move. Again, Qs just outperforming thanks to mega caps, but the mega caps are actually coming down today. You have Nvidia down 2.5%, Tesla down 2%. Wow. Tesla's down from 200. Probably some profit takers at that level, I'm guessing. Amazon's down 1%. Google down 0.65 and Meta down 0.23. And then you have Microsoft and Apple that were up 1%, only up by 0.3% for Apple, and basically break even for Microsoft at the moment. And the Qs is actually catching up to the Dow, both down about 0.8%. Very shocking. Microsoft just went back to red after the 1% pop this morning. Microsoft is trying to hold on the green. Catching support at the morning lows. So maybe SPY won't make it to 416 today. If Microsoft saves us. Very bearish though. 5-minute chart at 20 RSI. QQQ is still at 30. Thinking about hopping into a few of the QQQ puts for Friday expiration. Probably like a 40-cent stop loss. Oh, that's the wrong expiration. No thanks. Okay. No way we get a V-shaped recovery on Qs. That would be crazy. But that's exactly what this market is. Absolutely bananas. What happens today? We're bearish thanks to the JOLTS job openings report coming in much higher than expected at 10.1 million job openings versus 9.775 million expected, up from 9.745 million job openings as of March. So more jobs available means that there is more wage inflation. More wage inflation means that there's more goods inflation. So interest rates, the dollar headed higher, especially the dollar at 104.50, which ended up in stocks coming down this morning at about 10 a.m. And then your usual culprits, IWM, the Russell 2000s down 1.5%, and the Dow is down 0.8% versus QQQ down 0.6%. So mega caps are still getting some buyers versus the Dow continuing to lead losses. Good news is bad news again. Yep. Exactly right. Interest rates can't go high enough. All right, they got those contracts down to 272. I wanted to enter them 275, but they're at 286 now. So I could wait for the potential to buy them, or I could just get in now, open less of them. But yeah, definitely looking bearish here. Close to 30 on the RSI for the 5-minute chart. RSI was rejected at 50 for the hourly chart, so both of those trending bearish at the moment for Qs. Let's see. Yeah, the lowest that these got was 272. They're at 282 right now. 281. But kind of looks like we're trying to sweep up. Formation doesn't look good. The RSI does, though. Meta is up 0.3% now. Trading at yesterday's lows, though, and yesterday I was trading down. McConnell says that he will support the debt ceiling bill when it reaches the House. Oh, really? Who would have thought? Oh, when it reaches the Senate. Oh, Mitch McConnell. Yeah. I was thinking of McCarthy. I was about to say, if McCarthy doesn't support it, then that would be interesting. And there's the next leg lower for Qs. SPY's getting down to 416, so almost down 1%. These puts are going for 300 when I wanted them at 270. Did not get 270. We're down to 16 RSI for SPY. Pretty much all red candles since 10 a.m. So yeah, that definitely set the mood for today. What do I think of the debt ceiling bill? Personally, don't think it'll pass a Republican-controlled House. I think that it probably will end up passing the House. I mean, getting past the, what is it, the Freedom Caucus or whatever they call themselves, will be pretty hard. The people that are pro-Trump or whatever you want to call it. It'll be hard to get it past them, but I don't think that's the entire GOP Republican Party. I think that there's a split amongst the Republican Party, just like there is amongst the Democrat Party with the progressives versus the moderates, just like there is for the GOP. So probably end up getting it majority passed through. You're going to have some probably even dissenting Freedom Caucus people that would end up putting it in the favor to pass the debt limit, I think. I do think that if it gets passed, though, then McCarthy might be losing his seat, which took him, how many tries to get a seat? Like 20 different votes, so we'll see. It's going to be a shit show, as per usual, in Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. is the new Hollywood. Man, they got NVIDIA down to 390. Couldn't crack the 390s. But slowly letting some of the air out of the stock. Still a long way to go to get into the gap that it created for earnings. It would have to go back to, let's see, 300 for that. I'm looking at the hourly chart. The first hour after earnings was 365. I don't know if it would give up that much even. That would be another 10%. It would probably take a while if it did give up that much. I would think a couple of weeks. Damn, they sank those contracts quick. 300 to 274 in 5 minutes for QQQ. 348 puts expiring Friday. I don't think that it's trading at 30 RSI anymore, so not as bearish as it was. Still below 40, which is bearish. An hourly chart is still at 40. So we'll see if we actually go bearish on the hourly chart. It does seem like we might have found a bottom on Qs for the moment. But kind of chopping around too at the same time. Just below 348, but above 347.35 for right now. Washington, D.C. is the new Hollywood. Hope I'm doing well as the report out. Yeah, we had the, I want to say employment report, but JOLTS job openings report, jobs report, coming in hotter than expected, 10.1 million actual versus 9.775 million expected, so way above expectations and even above last month's at 9.745 million in March. So lots of new job openings, continued inflation, continued higher rates. You're probably going to see a rise in the odds for 25 basis points at the June meeting, would be my guess, at like 60-70%. Yep, 67.5% as of right now. Yesterday it was at, I think, low 60s in the morning. Now it's at 67.5. So this continues to climb, which is putting more pressure on stocks at the moment, because stocks thought that we would have a pause for the June meeting, and now it's kind of looking the other way. We do still have, 2 more weeks till June 14th when the meeting is scheduled for. So lots of data to come out between now and then. But odds are definitely rising. Just a week ago, this was 36%. Now it's doubled almost at 67.5. Why is the market reacting this way if the jobs report was good? Interest rates are going up. Odds for 25 basis points is going up. So people were under the impression that we would get a pause for the June meeting. And if we don't get that pause, then that kind of wipes out that sentiment that was formed for SPY. So now it's trading at 417, down about 0.8% as of right now. Down from 423 in the pre-market highs yesterday. So pretty significant sell-off. Still well above the 416 support though. So I would probably just expect this maybe to trade flat for the day between 416. Maybe we do get a fall below it. But I'm not sure how likely that would be. And then between 416 and 418.21 would be my guess for today, since that's where we started the JOLTS job opening. So I don't expect us to go back above it, unless there's any other kind of news that would set us off in the other direction. All right, IWM should be getting some support around here at 172. As per usual, chopping around the range. Kind of thinking about the IWM put credit spread on that assumption. I don't think that I'll get a lot of credit for it, just because for IWM to fall $1, it's actually a pretty decent move. Yeah, you're only getting 14-cent credit for $100 collateral, so risk reward ratio is not great for that. All right, they sank the puts down to 260. Q's at 348 again. And yeah, it looks like we formed a nice little kind of cup and handle right there. Barely a higher high, but breaking out of the range to the upside. So don't think I'm going to take that 348 put now. They are cheap though. 268, 264. I'm not sure if Friday would be enough time to see this come down to 345 though. Do I think Qs will make it back to 350? That would be something if it did. You'd have to have all of these names probably going back in the green, or at least I would say all of them, but a couple would have to be back in the green for this to get back to 350. Either that or you just have Apple and Microsoft hammering away at the gains since they're $2 trillion companies. But yeah, we didn't quite get to 416 per SPY. Q's, it's at 348.20 right now. Only down 0.5%. Maybe we could get rejected in the pre-market lows at like 348.50. But I don't know. It's at 47 on the RSI, so it's almost getting back to bullish. I would say if it does get back to bullish, yeah, we would get back to 350, but we'll see if that trend continues. Usually once you start a trend for the day, similar to yesterday, it was all bearish pretty much all day, right? All day we spent below 50 RSI. We did have a reversal at 220, and then we ended flat. So if we have something similar today, where we go above 50 RSI again here, we might just end at 348, maybe 348.50 would be my guess. Puts today then, yeah, I already got some puts right before the report, but I got out pretty shortly after, like the 5 minutes after that. Yeah, puts could be decent today. I'd say either puts or iron condors, maybe iron butterfly at 348. If it's similar price action to what we got yesterday. Or you could go somewhere in the middle with a call credit spread too. Right now, if you assume it's going to be 349 or below, you're getting 29-cent credit, which is only about 80 cents away. So, not the best credit, I would say, but half decent if you expect us to stay below 50 for RSI. What was the report about? The JOLTS job openings, so just the number of job openings throughout the economy. Coming in at 10.1 million versus 9.775 million, so a lot more job openings than what was expected, versus 9.745 million as of March. So this was the April report, so it is delayed, but there's 250 million, 350 million more jobs openings this month versus a month prior. If there's more job openings available, that means that people can negotiate higher wages by hopping from one place to another, which ends up in goods inflation as well. So you saw the dollar going up on that, rates going up. Actually, the 10-year didn't really react to it. 10 years actually still kind of sliding. Let's see what the 2-year is. So why did QQQ drop? Just because interest rates and the dollar going up and the odds for 25 basis points climbing overnight from 60% to 67.5%. The higher that this goes, the more it's crushing the narrative of getting a pause for the June meeting on the 14th. So markets were expecting that, and now if they can't expect that anymore, you would see a pullback. Yeah, big names. Most of them leading the downside. Nvidia's down the worst, 2%, but you're seeing Apple up 0.6% and Microsoft up 0.3%. So these couple of names are still holding their gains. And then other names like Google down 0.5, Amazon down 1, Tesla down 1.65 from 200 to 198, and then Nvidia down to 393 from 400 at close yesterday. So decent drop for the big names, but you're still getting some buyers on Apple, Microsoft, and Meta today, kind of propping up the Qs for right now. No, 14th is the FOMC meeting when Jerome Powell is going to speak. Debt ceiling should be today, is what they're saying. It should pass the House today, and then the Senate would be an easy pass, I would think. Alright, we couldn't make it to 50 on the RSI here. We went up to 348, 348.50 before we got rejected. So either continuation of this bearish price action or maybe trading neutral between 347, 348 would be my guess for today. They're jacking up these puts already. God dang it, they're 265 from 250 just a minute ago. They really get these puts going. These contracts were down to 240, 234 at the lowest. So if we manage back up to 348.20, that would sink these contracts pretty quick. So yeah, I'd probably set a stop loss at like 240. Try to hold these above 275, 290. Now they're 270. $275. All right. Well, I don't think I'll get in. Really want to, because it does look like we're forming more downside on the RSI, but also got that support at about 347.42. So let's see, that would put these contracts at about 288, 290. So not a lot of upside potential if you're buying them at 275. Nvidia's back down 2.5% to 390 again. Let's see if I can get these contracts at 260, but I don't know if I will. No. Don't think that's going to happen. Alright, well, I guess that'll be all the trading for today. Hopefully I can get into this put later on, and it's a cheaper price, but right now they're jacking them up to 270 for the Friday puts at 348 strike price. So my estimates, if we do end up continuing down for Qs today and tomorrow, we might get down to 345 would be my guess. Down from 347.50 as of right now, so about a $2-3 drop. Could net you some good profits, but right now these are very, very pricey, so not worth it for me. So that's all the trading I got for y'all today, and I'll catch y'all tomorrow at 9:30. See you, everybody.